Hey, financial coach. I am excited to share with you 7 mistakes financial coaches should avoid. My name is Kelsa Dickey. I am the financial coach behind Fiscal Fitness Phoenix. Try and say that 5 times fast. And I am also the creator of the Financial Coach Academy. I've been a financial coach for 12 years now, but when I first started, I came from corporate accounting and I didn't know much about being an entrepreneur. In fact, I didn't know much about being a financial coach either. All I knew was that I wanted to help people and I enjoyed managing my own money. It was really so simple. I just wanted to help people. After helping people as a hobby, just sitting at my dining room table for a while, I finally said to Michael, my husband, I think this is what I'm meant to do. Luckily, he didn't think I was too crazy. And so we spent the next year planning. What would I call myself? Because remember, at the time, 12 years ago, there was no such thing as financial coaches. What would I charge? Because again, at the time, it was just a hobby and I was doing it for free. And am I really cut out for this? 1 year later, I left my corporate job. I was scared, but at the time, here's how I felt. My fear of regret was greater than my fear of failure. The fear I felt that I would possibly live to regret not trying this business idea of financial coaching was greater than my fear of failing at it. And failing at it is actually what we thought might happen. We had a plan B and even a plan C. We had a 1 year runway and we told ourselves that I could try it for 1 year. And if it didn't work or if I couldn't make a living doing it, then I would simply go back into corporate accounting and that would be okay. My goal at that time was to make $2,000 a month as a financial coach. If I could do that along with my husband's job, we would be fine and I would be able to do what I love. My goal at that time was so simple. And I look back on that part of my journey really fondly. I tell you that because it's okay to think or feel like this is just a crazy idea at this point. It's okay if your goal is to do this part time or if you simply just want to help one person at a time. It's okay if your goal is to do this for a living and have a robust financial coaching practice. Maybe you want to have 10 coaches underneath you and everything in between. I now run a financial coaching business that brings in 6 figures for multiple coaches. It blows my mind even till this day. We end each day knowing that we changed our clients' lives. We end every day loving what we got to work on and excited for what we get to work on next. And we truly love the people we have the privilege of helping. But first, it wasn't without a lot of heartache and a ton of trial and error in figuring out what not to do until I finally figured out what works. So in this video, I'm going to share some of those biggest mistakes with you and give you some ideas for either avoiding them or overcoming them if you are already experiencing them. If you love these strategies and want even more, I hope you'll check out the Financial Coach Academy, a robust training program specifically designed for financial coaches by me, a fellow financial coach. I also hope you'll join me and thousands of other financial coaches in my free Facebook group called Financial Coaches Unite, an amazing and collaborative space where we learn from one another and share ideas. So let's dive into the 7 mistakes you want to try to avoid as a financial coach. Mistake number 1, not paying attention to your client success path or the client flow. So processes by themselves aren't important, but what they do provide is that they help you to show up in a really positive, calm, and confident way so that the client feels more supported. In other words, they allow you to focus on the client entirely. And all you have to do is simply lead that client through a nice, repeatable process that you've designed. That way, you're not trying to come up with what to do next while you're in the middle of the conversation with a prospect or a client. You already know what's next and you simply invite the client to take the next step with you. The result is that the client moves forward and gets better results and even faster results because they trust the process and they trust you to lead them through it. Instead, what I want you to do is think about the client and what they are thinking and feeling at each stage of their journey with you. Then we like to add in what we call touch points throughout. So when we know that they're going to experience maybe a lull in their motivation or maybe in some momentum, we've created little ways of surprising and delighting them and keeping them moving forward. Mistake number 2 is caring more than the client. I can pinpoint so much of my frustrations over the years back to this mistake, which is why it's next on my list. My programs now are designed to combat this. They require ownership and responsibility from the client. And it maybe doesn't feel like a big deal when you only have a small handful of clients, but it becomes a really big deal when you have a full client load or you're starting to feel tapped out. One of the worst things that can happen for a coach, any coach, is to start feeling resentment. So how does this show up? First, clients not taking notes and wanting maybe you to do that for them, or you sending meeting notes and summaries after every session. I used to send full email recaps after each session that would take me hours at the end of my day. That is the client's responsibility to take notes, ask questions, and make sure they're fully engaged in the session. Another way this showed up was clients not scheduling sessions. I used to be really flexible and bend over backwards, or we would call dozens of times, and I indirectly pay for that. It costs me time, money, and energy. Now I simply let the clients know early that this is their financial journey, and I want them to show up more committed and more enthusiastic about their finances than me. They have to want it. And honestly, when I tell clients that now, they get it. They actually appreciate being held to that high standard. They rise to that occasion. The third way that this shows up is clients not doing anything in between sessions. Financial coaching doesn't just happen during 1-hour coaching sessions. The purpose of financial coaching is to build amazing and healthy habits around money and decision making. And those steps are taken in between sessions when they're making those money decisions. If they're not following through, oftentimes what occurs is that we meet, and our job as a financial coach is to help them clean up whatever they just experienced. After a while, that can look a lot like enabling. To truly help our clients, we cannot enable bad habits. Where this came from is that I expected people to have the same level of commitment as me, or I would give people the benefit of the doubt, or I expected that people would treat me the same way I treat people when I hire them. And I assumed that my way of doing that was sort of common practice. And I learned that it's simply not. So some things that you can do to overcome this mistake: become an empowered leader during crucial conversations. We have an entire blog series on our website, financialcoachacademy.com, surrounding crucial conversations. I hope you will go check it out. Establishing expectations, what you expect of them, but also what they can expect from you. Communicating policies and holding clients to a high standard can be a really challenging step for new coaches to take, but it's crucial. Have a contract. If you're newer to business, introducing a contract, sort of like, when do I introduce it? How do I introduce it? And talking through each of the points in the contract can feel a little awkward, but I want to encourage you to take that step. It gets easier the more you do it. In the Financial Coach Academy, we help you create what we call velvet ropes. Each one serves the purpose to make sure only the most committed clients get past that velvet rope. Each one serves as a step for which expectations we're communicating at which stage of that client success path. Also in the Financial Coach Academy, we give you a copy of our client agreement, break down why we include the various sections that we do, and coach you through exactly when to introduce it and how to talk with the client about it so it's less awkward for you. If you simply want a copy of the agreement, we've shared it in the Facebook group Financial Coaches Unite. Please ask to join and you can download it. I want to encourage you to be thinking about velvet ropes and creating a contract in your business right away. It's crucial. Mistake number 3 that I hope you will avoid or overcome if you're already experiencing is the mistake of thinking that we can help everyone. The reality is, I am the perfect coach for some people, but I am not a perfect coach for everyone. There are going to be some people I simply don't communicate well with. When I explain things, it just doesn't make sense to them no matter how hard I try. It's not them or me, it's simply not a good fit. One of the first things that I talk with coaches about when I talk with them about the Financial Coach Academy is I ask, have you watched any of the videos I've done in the Financial Coaches Unite group or on YouTube. And if they say no, I ask them to go check those out first. The way I explain things may not be a good fit for everyone, but if you like it in these versions of my videos, then you're probably going to like the Academy just as much. And there are some situations I'm simply not the most equipped to understand. And there's another coach out there who totally gets that particular scenario. They know what that client is feeling, thinking, and experiencing. And the best thing I can do for that client and for myself is to serve the client by being honest and saying, I am not the best coach for you. It's also why identifying an ideal client is so important. Niching can be really scary. I know I had all the same hesitations that new coaches share with me today. Niching down is an incredibly scary step to take. But here's what I want you to keep in mind. Niching doesn't mean you don't help people outside that niche. It simply means you are able to focus precisely when designing, launching, and marketing your business. When you narrow down who you serve, it becomes so much easier to create a coaching program, and all those velvet ropes and all those amazing touch points that we talked about that serve that person beautifully become crystal clear because you're thinking about a very specific person when you're designing them. It becomes easier to determine the proper pricing structure. It becomes easier to come up with marketing content that resonates with that person. Your business can be more efficient and thus more profitable because you're not spending gobs of time researching every situation you might come across. I love seeing the niches that coaches discover in the Academy. We've got those who focus on bilingual clients or immigrants, clients facing infertility and the costs associated with that, single moms, attorneys, professionals who want to launch a side hustle because they have a passion and want to start making money at it, newlyweds, brand new parents, men or women who recently graduated from college. These are just a few of the niches that coaches have honed in on through the Academy, and it's incredible. And when I have a client who I don't think I'm the best fit for, who do you think I will think of first? The coach who is super specific with their niche. And that's exactly why niching down is so beautiful. It means you are top of mind when a conversation is happening between two people because you are seen as the go-to expert in that situation. Mistake number 4, looking at other people's websites. Do not do it. Comparison is the thief of joy. If you've already gone down the rabbit hole and looked at other people's websites and it planted seeds of doubt in you, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can go from feeling really confident in the value I offer in myself and in my logo and in my messaging and in my branding to feeling like the worst financial coach on the planet in the matter of minutes. You will go down the rabbit hole of, should I do that too? Or why didn't I think of that? Or, oh, they did that so good. But now you've got that in your mind and you're not sure how to put your own spin on it. Your journey is yours and yours alone. And it's important to allow your clients and the exchanges you have with clients to guide who you become as a financial coach. Which meetings get you super pumped up? What conversations happen that make you feel really proud of the work you just did? What do you hear your clients saying about what you've done for them? That's what I want you to pay attention to. If you follow other people's social media, specifically other financial coaches, it's easy to get their voice in your head and it drowns out your own. It can also really trigger imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome are feelings of self-doubt or a sense that you're a fraud, and they can pop up no matter what levels of success or experience you have. I still feel imposter syndrome till this day. I've just learned to recognize it, acknowledge it, and move forward anyway. I don't let it stop me. But when you're new, it's an easy trap to fall into, believing that imposter syndrome or those feelings are real. It's lying to you. You aren't inadequate. You're not a fraud. You are cut out for this. Instead, what I want you to do is trust your instincts. Continue to live with humility, always trying to learn more. I believe in being a student of my craft. I will always continue learning how to be a better financial coach. I will never be done, and I will never be a perfect financial coach. Read books on behavior, psychology, overcoming mental blocks, personal finance topics, leadership, giving back. All of these things organically and naturally will make you a better coach. And learn from every decision you make, especially the bad ones. And for goodness sake, please do not follow other financial coaches' social medias. Mistake number 5, not focusing on one-on-one coaching first and hopping straight into offering a course. I'm going to do my best to explain this one, so bear with me. In the Academy, we teach you about creating a client success path, like I mentioned earlier. Think of this like your marketing funnel or the business model that you create that you lead clients through. Typically, on the front end of the client success path is a mini course or a mini challenge that you offer to take someone who is a prospect or following you online to being a client, but in a very low cost or low commitment way. It's sort of like a baby step that the client can take. This course is typically on the front end of your offerings, like I was saying, but don't confuse that with thinking that it is the first thing you should focus on creating for your business. You want to start by coaching clients one-on-one first. It allows you to hone your process, identify patterns that your ideal clients share, figure out what works and doesn't work to get clients results, and then put those things in a course. So for example, what process or framework, do I use with my one-on-one clients that gets results? I might try 5 different things with 5 different clients, and I want to pay attention to the ones that got the fastest and the best results. If you work with clients one-on-one or do any type of client work where you use a process to get results, you can then turn that process or framework into a course. So what has been working for your clients? What have you done that got them results? You want to try and visualize a roadmap that illustrates the steps that your current clients were taking that brought on the transformation in their finances. You then take that and create a course or a challenge out of it. So what kinds of questions do you get asked all the time from clients? What topics do you find that you're always talking with your clients about? Or what types of things are people saying, hey, can I pick your brain about? Or what types of emails are you getting even after you've explained a concept to a client? Those are the types of things that you learn and grow with one-on-one coaching that you want to have figured out before you launch a course and try and serve, let's say, 25 people all at one time. Courses take a lot of work. The easiest way to start is simply by serving the one client right in front of you, and you are able to do that really easily and really well with one-on-one coaching. Serve that one client really well, rinse and repeat, gain invaluable experience and confidence, and then design and launch a course. Trust me on this. Mistake number 6, planning too many steps ahead. I always like to say that financial coaches, we're all pretty similar in the sense that we probably think 3 steps out. We like to plan ahead, and that is a skill that we have that is going to serve our clients beautifully. I love that, and I want you to embrace it in your coaching sessions. But it's actually going to be a hindrance to you as an entrepreneur. I want you to just start. Done is better than perfect. It's do and then learn. It's not learn and then do. You will likely grow as a coach in ways you cannot even imagine right now. You'll be challenged in ways that will serve you really well. Try to go with the flow a little bit. And I am coming to you as what I call a recovering control enthusiast. Okay, so I promise I work the same way as you in the fact that I like to have a plan. I like to be in control of everything that's about to happen. And it is not possible as an entrepreneur. Your plan may be to start part-time and in 1 year be full-time. Your plan may be to make $400 a month, or maybe it's $40,000 a month. Trust that you will get there, but by focusing too far on the future, you're missing out on the main points today. What will get you to that point is by listening, and I mean truly listening and coaching the client right in front of you. That's what grows your understanding. It grows your confidence. Your offerings will become more robust and serve your clients better if you are listening really well. Your services, you'll be able to charge more. It is okay to have a bigger vision, but don't let that distract you from doing something incredible today. Throw perfectionism out the door and adopt the philosophy of messy action, which means doing something, even if you don't have it all figured out and you don't know what you'll do next. And if that thing isn't quite perfect yet, you do it anyway, because guess what? It will never be perfect. You have a lifetime to tinker and tweak. Every Monday in our Facebook group, Financial Coaches Unite, we post a messy action weekly intention, and people have to comment on what it is that they're going to take messy action on that week. You don't have to have it all figured out, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you're going to pull the trigger on it anyway, because it's do and then learn, and that's why messy action works. Last but not least, mistake number 7, not realizing how valuable your services are. It's really natural in all areas of life that when we're good at something, we fail to see how it's valuable for others because we can do it ourselves. We don't need to pay someone else to help us, so we assume others wouldn't want to pay someone as well. If I know how to fix my car or change my oil all by myself, which for the record, I do not, it wouldn't make sense for me to go pay to have an oil change. I would just do it myself, right? But other people cannot do this stuff on their own. Their brains don't work the same way as yours, which is why having you in their corner is so beneficial. It's so incredibly valuable. And if you don't realize this, chances are what you focus on is not the process you are taking in your head, because you may not even be aware of that process, but you might be focusing more on content than process. So people don't buy more information or more content. There's plenty of personal finance information out there that they could easily Google. What they pay for is progress or transformation. They want the challenge that they are experiencing with their money to get solved, and they want to learn the steps to solve it over and over and over again. So every time it pops up into the future, they can solve it for themselves. Content is something they can consume. Instead, as a coach, I want you to focus on the process you are taking and teach that to your clients. So let me give you an example. A client wants to buy something and asks what you think. You can clearly see by looking at their budget that they can't afford it or that it will impact their goals. Instead of telling them that answer, show them what you are looking at and how you are interpreting it and how you're seeing their numbers so they are able to see it for themselves. Help them see what the answer is for themselves. Don't just give them the answers. Now, you can likely make that leap instantly in your brain. You can see it without maybe even realizing that your brain just did that really quick analysis that gave you that opinion. That's the process that I want you to teach to your clients. It's something they can do over and over again, even when the factors change, and that is priceless. I want you to tell them, here's exactly what I'm looking at. Here's why these factors are important. Here's the questions I'm asking myself right now. Really break all of that analysis down and talk about it with the client so they're learning the ropes. These are just the top 7 mistakes financial coaches, including myself, make when first launching, but there are others. The wrong programming, wrong pricing structure, not investing in ourselves, either by a course or a book or a seminar or a nice chair that you're going to be sitting in all day, not investing in coaching. How can we say that we believe in the power of coaching, but then not hire a coach ourselves? Poor work-life balance or not knowing how to manage your time as an entrepreneur. The way you manage your time as an entrepreneur is likely very different than how you do it at your day job. Chasing fads or not trusting your intuition. Not having other crucial conversations than the ones I mentioned previously, because there are many others. And not inviting prospects to work with you because you don't want to sound salesy. Everyone's favorite module in the Financial Coach Academy is Module 4, which we title Selling with Integrity. I believe that you can invite people to work with you that feels really good to you and feels really good to the client. One thing I preach all the time in the academy is that I encourage you to step outside your comfort zone. We have to do that a lot as entrepreneurs. But what I never want you to do is step outside your integrity zone. It's really important that you never do something that feels as if it's a violation of who you are and the type of coach that you want to be. I would like to invite you to join me in Financial Coaches Unite, the Facebook group where you can surround yourself with other amazing financial coaches. And in the Financial Coach Academy, we help you avoid or overcome all of these challenges. We give you a step-by-step process for designing and launching a successful financial coaching business, one that serves the client well and gets them amazing results, one that serves you, the coach, by making it a business that fills your cup and adds to your life, not takes away from it, and one that is set up to make you a decent living based on your goals, whether that's part-time, a side hustle, full-time, because if it's adding to your life financially and emotionally, and it's getting the client's results, you will be more likely to do it for a very long time. And that satisfies my mission to take the stress out of money in this world. The longer you are a financial coach, the more people you will help, and more likely my vision will become a reality in my lifetime.